Alright, I had just finished watching the Sony E3 conference. So far, we've got most of them out of the way. All that's left is Nintendo, and that's going to be the big reveal for Super Smash Bros. And honestly, Nintendo's what I've been really excited for this whole time. But as for non Nintendo stuff, which this is going to be basically everything not Nintendo related, and I'll probably make another video that will be 100% Nintendo related. But a lot of shit happened, starting with Dead or Alive 6 being announced on Friday morning, which really blew my mind because I did not expect that coming at all. And their decision to be less lewd, which is funny to me because the reason why people don't play Dead or Alive is not because it's lewd. People like Tekken more than Dead or Alive because Tekken's a little bit more advanced and a little more technical. Dead or Alive is a little bit more casual, and there's nothing wrong with being a casual fighting game. In fact, I think it's a great way to get people into fighting games is being casual. So, the lewdness isn't turning people off, but and I mean, look at games like Street Fighter that are completely lewd anyway. Like it doesn't matter in fighting games, but I digress. Later, we got EA being boring and nothing much to talk about there. I know some people are excited for Anthem. I'm not. Uh, and then we had Microsoft. Microsoft did a pretty good conference. I think they probably won for the most part, at least for that day. I think they beat Bethesda, and that shouldn't have been a tall order because they're one of the big three. They're one of the main consoles, which means that they don't just show first-party games, but they show everything. That my problem is that I didn't care about much of the first-party content. They started with Halo, which is a big deal, but they showed so little of Halo that they might as well have not shown anything at all. They showed so little of a lot of stuff that I just couldn't find a reason to care. In fact, when I'm really thinking about Xbox and what I saw and what was there to care about, um, you know, the thing I care about the most was seeing Kingdom Hearts 3 and seeing the reveal of Frozen, which we all knew Frozen would be in Kingdom Hearts 3, baby. We all knew Frozen would be in Kingdom Hearts 3. There was no surprise there. Not when you have Wreck-It Ralph and Tangled and Big Hero 6 in the game. We knew Frozen would be in the game. But it was cool just to see it. And it's cool just to see more. However, I was ecstatic when I saw the announcement for Devil May Cry 5. This is not DMC. This is Devil May Cry 5. DMC is not Devil May Cry 4. I know people know there's a Devil May Cry trilogy. There was a fourth one that starred a character named Nero, and one of my friends was confused about this because he didn't play all of the Devil May Cry games, but he thought that this was the new Dante from DMC. It's not. This is Nero. This is not Dante. This is Nero. However, Dante does appear at the end of the trailer. That's awesome. Seeing Nero again is awesome. All of this is awesome. The fact they're going back to the main canon timeline from Devil May Cry is fucking a big deal because they basically admitted they were wrong and that no one wants DMC and that everyone wants Devil May Cry main series and they're bringing all the old shit back and that is fucking awesome. Nero has had a big redesign. His sword is still there. He's got a robot arm, but it looked like at one part in the game he had a demon arm like he used to. And so I don't know if that's early in the game or if that's later. Or I don't know how this arm stuff is going to work. My theory is that his demon arm is what he has at the beginning, and he cuts it off and puts on a robot arm. Because it showed him having like no arm for a second there. So like I've watched the trailer many times, and I'm really hyped. And honestly, like seeing Devil May Cry come back is a fucking big deal, and Capcom really fucking nailed it for me. So the best part about Xbox for me had nothing to do with Gears of War or Halo, because whatever. As much as I love Halo, Halo 5 and 4 were both kind of letdowns in different ways, but I'm hoping that 6 can be the one they get right, but we'll have to see. After that was Bethesda, and Bethesda, well, People were saying Bethesda won E3, but they were saying that because um, they announced Elder Scrolls 6. And the thing is that they announced Elder Scrolls 6 at the very, very end, and they had Todd himself on stage, and he said, "I got one more game for you guys, and it's the one you were all asking about." And the lights turn off. It zooms in on the screen, says Elder Scrolls 6, and then just ends. What do you mean you have one more game for us? You didn't show anything. Not only did he not show any gameplay or any bit of graphics or anything what the world possibly looks like, they didn't even give the game a subtitle. It's just Elder Scrolls 6. 3 was Morrowind, 4 was Oblivion, 5 is Skyrim. And something I have to say about the Elder Scrolls games and Bethesda games in general, I do not care for them, but I play them usually anyway. And the reason why is because there's something good about the exploration and the role playing aspects. But what I don't like is the combination of real time combat and RPG elements. I don't like it in a lot of games. I don't really like it in Borderlands, but at least in Borderlands, the gameplay makes up for it. And the exploration and the weapons make up for it. For me in Fallout, my favorite things about Fallout are getting stronger weapons. To me, that's what makes the game fun, is getting new and exciting weapons. What doesn't make the game fun is having all these, like, this level up tree, all these perks that don't ever really make me feel stronger. They just make me feel really weak at the beginning of the game. And I just kind of, ignore everything I'll never use, basically. But then there's, like, a whole bunch of stuff that sounds really good to have, but it's like you have to really level up this skill to get to it, and leveling up the skill doesn't seem worth it. And it's just like it's so annoying. It hurts the game in many ways, in my opinion. And it's really the best way to do good in the game is to find ways to exploit the money, so you can get a bunch of money and buy good equipment and good weapons, or mod them yourself. And I don't mean like mod the game, I mean mod the weapons in the in-game modding system. And so, and as every new Bethesda game comes out, the games become less story driven, less exploration driven, and become more streamlined for the combat with less dialogue options. The games become simpler each time, but they look prettier. And people notice this. People complain about Skyrim. People complain about Fallout 4. And there's a new Fallout on the way, which is probably the most exciting, probably the best thing that Bethesda showed was the new Fallout, because they actually showed a ton of information on the game. They showed exactly how it plays, what it looks like, how it works, and it looks like it's Fallout 4 with multiplayer. And that's pretty good. Honestly, that sounds good. I'm probably not going to get it until I see reviews on it, but that sounds good. That sounds like something that would be interesting to certain people, because there's no need for a new Fallout yet, because 4 was already everything people could have asked for, probably. And I know some people are like, yeah, but we want more rich, in-depth missions. It's like, you're not going to get that from this version of Bethesda. And so people are excited about Elder Scrolls 6 because it's a new Elder Scrolls game. You have no reason to be excited yet. They did not even say what the game is called. You don't know the story. You don't know how big the game's going to be. You don't know anything. And so the thing is that this game is going to have an incredible amount of hype before it comes out. We're probably not even going to see it until next year, the next E3. And the thing is that whenever people do buy it, then they're going to complain about it. It's what they do with every Bethesda game. It happens every time. Every Bethesda game, people are fucking excited, then they get it, and then they say, oh, New Vegas was better. Or they get it, and they say, oh yeah, Morrowind and Oblivion are both better. It's like, at this point, I don't know why people care. I don't know why I'm new. I don't care. I don't care about Elder Scrolls 6 and the title font. Oh, the title is in this font. Oh, like there's a difference when you see a game announced and it's let's compare it to Shenmue 3 or the Final Fantasy 7 remake where they don't even show anything but they're like it's happening. That's a big deal because you don't think these games are even happening. Or even Death Stranding when they first showed it off, all those like 2 years ago, it was just a CGI trailer and it was basically meaningless. You know, it was just a bunch of like random bullshit, but it looked really fucking cool. And so people were like, I don't know what this is, but it looks fucking cool. And and then it's like, why does that warrant my excitement? Because I didn't know it was fucking gonna happen. It was a Hideo Kojima game that was being made by Sony, because he's left Konami. Like this is a big deal. When I see Shenmue 3 and Final Fantasy 7 remake, and they don't show anything besides saying it's gonna happen, that's a big deal. Same with Kingdom Hearts 3. They're like, here it is. We don't know anything, but here it is. That's a big deal because I didn't know it was gonna happen. Elder Scrolls 6. Of course they're gonna make Elder Scrolls 6. Are you kidding me? Skyrim is so profitable that there's no way they would never make a sequel to Skyrim. Like, it's just ridiculous to think they'll never make another Elder Scrolls game. That is absolutely bonkers to think that. So this should not. This is to me. This doesn't warrant any hype, and I don't care. Um, so Bethesda for me, what did they really accomplish? The best thing for me, I liked Rage 2, and I liked seeing the fact that Doom 2 exists. But again, I kind of knew Doom 2 would happen because Wolfenstein 2 happened. I didn't know Wolfenstein 2 would happen necessarily, but because it happened and Doom happened in between Wolfenstein 1 and 2, I kind of figured Doom 2 would happen. I just didn't know when. After that, we had to wait a day, and this is the stuff that I didn't watch these full conferences. I had things to do, and I watched clips and bits of different awesome parts. Um, for example, I watched the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer video, and it was just a pure CGI video again, just like last year, which is kind of making me like, I guess next year we'll have gameplay. I was kind of expecting gameplay this year, but seeing Jade is really cool. They're definitely really, really being slow here with the content for Beyond Good and Evil 2. If you notice, I skipped Square Enix. That's because they didn't show anything that mattered at all. It was completely pointless. I think Square Enix lost to EA this time, which is not good. Let's get back to Ubisoft. They showed off a new Assassin's Creed game. I don't care because I don't care. I don't care anymore. And that was the thing. Ubisoft was a bunch of shit I didn't care about. But they did show their Amiibo spaceship game that I was kind of thinking like, when are they gonna like, what happened to that game? I thought that game was canceled basically because Amiibos aren't as popular anymore and Toys to Life genre is not as popular anymore. But actually, Star Fox is in it, and that's fucking badass. And now I'm really interested in it, and that's really cool. So yeah, hell yeah, dude, let's do this. I'll play it, but I don't want a bunch of Toys to Life stuff. I have too much of that shit already, and it's just sitting in like bins because I have too much of it, and I have no use for it. And at least with this game, if I get like one ship and customize it or whatever, scanning it in will be fun and great. And so that's good. And also, if I can get like an R-Wing for Star Fox to fly in, then I'll be very happy. Because I love space shooter games. This will be so much fun for me. But let's not waste any more time in getting into what really matters here for me, Sony. And now Sony had this weird presentation style where they had a guy playing the banjo, and instantly I was like, oh, this is from Last of Us, because this is from Last of Us. Guy playing a banjo, this is from Last of Us. Then they cut to Last of Us 2, showed gameplay, looked really fucking good. Everything I liked about Last of Us, and then better. It looks exactly like Last of Us, but with the graphics kicked up 10 notches, and the gameplay being a little bit more streamlined, and just being so fluid and smooth looking. And it's like, okay, Last of Us was a really, really damn good game. It did physical combat and gun combat really well. It did crafting and survival elements really well. And this game looks like it's cranking that up about 2 notches. Then hell yeah, hell yeah. So I'm totally down with that, and it looks beautiful. And then we had to wait. There was an intermission period, and no one's gonna let this live this down. And this is why I'm doing this tonight and not doing it later, because it was like the internet was fucking getting annoyed. I was watching the Twitch chat. I was watching the YouTube chat. I was watching all their chats, and I was going on. I pulled up different streams. I pulled up Video Games Awesome stream. I pulled up Edakai's stream. I pulled up I've a few streams of people I don't even want to name, but I pulled up some streams and listened to them all get mad. And I'm like watching other streams live while I'm trying to watch the actual Sony stream, but I only did that because Sony wasn't doing anything and I was getting bored out of my mind. And eventually they went back to the actual presentation because they changed the venues. This was a stupid idea. They should have never done that. They should have had the first venue the entire time. Sony made a bad decision doing this. But then we got to this weird Japanese song, this weird Japanese guy playing an instrument. And again, it was like, what is going on here? But what led to was this beautiful looking game. I can't remember the exact title. It was like Ghost of something. I've just been calling it Ghost because the word ghost is big, and they had the rest of the title smaller under it. But it's a samurai based game that kind of reminded me of like The Witcher, but with Batman Arkham style combat, and it looked really fucking good. This kind of like open world looking game made by Sucker Punch Studios with samurais. It was bloody. The art was beautiful. The colors, oh my god, the colors were just amazing. And this is something that a lot of people were saying, but it was something I noticed during. I actually took a Snapchat of it while I was watching it live, and I wrote like, this game is beautiful, and put it on my story. So like, it has to be known that I knew it was beautiful before everyone started saying it as a buzzword. But goddamn, the game just looks so good. Not just graphically, but it's like just the direction in general is just amazing. I love it. Very Japanese beauty, which is I really respect them for doing that. And here's the thing about Sony, man. I could talk about almost every game they showed and why it blew my mind. I don't remember the exact order off the top of my head, but they showed more footage for Kingdom Hearts. And when it comes to non-Nintendo, Death Stranding and Kingdom Hearts were probably the two things I was most excited to see. And it's why I watched Xbox, was just so I could see. I was like, maybe they'll show Kingdom Hearts on Xbox. And they did. Well, they showed Kingdom Hearts on Sony as well, and it was a brand new trailer. And they revealed the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I did not expect that because I didn't know if Pirates of the Caribbean would be in the game or not. I knew Frozen would be in the game, but the best part was that Sora, Donald, and Goofy got pirate clothes. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, they didn't get pirate-themed clothes. They didn't actually change at all. And what I really like about that is in Kingdom Hearts 2, the graphics become more realistic and less cartoony, but Sora, Donald, and Goofy still look like they're anime characters. Well, at least Sora looks like an anime character, and Donald and Goofy look like Disney characters, which, anime and Disney kind of go hand in hand. Some of that old anime is based off of Disney stuff because of the cartoony big eyes and everything. But anyway, but when they showed the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, Sora, Donald, and Goofy all looked different. Not just their clothes, but their character models looked designed differently. They designed to look more like Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. I don't know how else to describe it besides saying like the Final Fantasy VII remake or something. Like they didn't look like the cartoon characters anymore. They were still cartoon anime characters, but they looked like what they would look like with real skin texture and or like real fur, and Donald and Goofy's big eyes looked really shiny, and like it just didn't look like the rest of the game. And I was like, what is this? And yes, I saw like Jack Sparrow and everything, and I was like, this is so cool, like it's Pirates of the Caribbean. But then when they showed the actual ship combat, my mind was blown. I was like, is this a crossover with Pirates of the Caribbean, Kingdom Hearts, and one of the Ubisoft games, like Skull and Bones? Like, what is this? Like, it has actual pirate combat in it, like real ship combat. It looked like I was looking at Assassin's Creed 4, and then there was moments where Sora was jumping in the water and going underground and swimming all over, and it's like, what is this game? Like, when we see every part of Kingdom Hearts 3 that they've shown makes it look like this massive game where you can go all over and there's so much ground to cover. And then they show the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, and it's no fucking exception. Like, it looks like it's its own fucking separate game. It's so big. And it just goes to show, like, this game is living up to the hype 150%. Like, not only does the story look the most convoluted and the most, like, insane and ridiculous and overly complicated as possible, but the gameplay and the worlds and the exploration look bigger than ever before. Like, this is Kingdom Hearts, like, next generation and then some, because we didn't get Kingdom Hearts on 360 and PS3, and so it's like really making up for the fact it's like too good, because the last Kingdom Hearts game was nothing to like this. Like, this is too good. Like, it's blowing my mind, man. And I gotta say, who won E3? Probably not one of these conferences. I'd say Kingdom Hearts won it for me. Kingdom Hearts fucking ruled, and it was in both Xbox and PlayStation's event. And if I see a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts during Nintendo's, I'll fucking shit my pants. But I'm pretty sure that it's not even coming to Switch, so we'll probably not see that. And if it did come on Switch, I don't know if that'd be the version I'd get. But because I don't think it will, because the graphics just look so damn good. It has to be PS4 and Xbox One. I hope it someday comes to PC. Anyway, the next reason why, like, both those games, the Ghost game, Last of Us 2, and Kingdom Hearts 3, all looked so good. Resident Evil 2 remake, it happened. This was a huge rumor. Everyone was saying we were going to see it. Everyone was saying we were going to see it online. And I was like, alright, I'll keep my eye out for it. And I realized it was Resident Evil 2 remake the second the zombie bit someone. And I was like, holy shit, like, it's happening. And then it showed Leon. And I was like, yep. And all my friends were like, Resident Evil? And I was like, no, it's Resident Evil 2, but remade with Resident Evil 4's style. And everyone's like, you mean the dream game that we all talked about when Resident Evil 4 first came out? It's like, yes, Resident Evil 2 remake is real. It's not like Resident Evil 1 remake. Resident Evil 1 remake plays like Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 2 remake has like all brand new cutscenes and all this brand new shit, and it plays like Resident Evil 4. This is a brand new Resident Evil game in the style of Resident Evil 4. So this is just amazing. This is just like fucking amazing. I cannot wait. Like, I could not be happier. And so while Xbox had the new Devil May Cry, Sony had the new Resident Evil. So who's winning? Capcom and Kingdom Hearts 3. Capcom as a whole is kicking ass. Kingdom Hearts 3 is doing well too. So that is amazing. Both of you guys, my hat's off. I'm so happy with Capcom right now. Then, of course, eventually we got to Death Stranding. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was on screen, and then Death Stranding. And Death Stranding, we got to see gameplay for the first time. But we didn't see combat. We just saw that you have to carry things as a delivery man. And it looks so cute. And this is like, what people don't realize about Kojima is he does cute things in his games because people didn't play lots of people played Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid has a huge fan base, but a lot of casual people don't play Metal Gear Solid. It's not a game casual people pick up, and people are so interested in Death Stranding, and I'm like, you guys don't know about Metal Gear Solid. It's like Metal Gear Solid is fucking weird. You guys are not ready for this, and one thing about Metal Gear Solid is that they do cute little things, and one of the cute little things in this was him carrying all these packages and luggage and stuff, and some of it was like ridiculous what he was doing. But the world looks massive, and it kind of reminds me of like if Metal Gear Solid 5, you could go into a world that was like as big as something like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I only compare it to Breath of the Wild because he was like traversing mountains and walking over these like cliffs and stuff. And I'm like, if this game is that huge of an open world, I will be so excited. So it looks super cool. And yeah, I'm super excited. And lastly, Sony ended with Spider-Man. Oh my god. Like, I'm a big fan of the Arkham games, a huge fan of the Arkham games. The Arkham games, some people are like, "Oh, you just like the Batman Arkham games because you're a fan of Batman." No, I was kind of I knew Batman stuff. I watched the animated series, and when I played Batman Arkham, I was happy that the animated series characters returned to do the voices because they didn't have to. Um, but that game made me like Batman more because that game was so good. It made me want to read more Batman comics, and I did. And I read a bunch of Batman comics after playing the first Arkham Asylum, and then after reading all these Batman comics, I played Arkham City, and it was my game of the year. It was the year that Skyrim came out. More jabs at Bethesda, but yeah, it was my game of the year for sure, and I still think Arkham City is one of the best games I've ever played in my life. It's such a fucking good game. And I've played Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Origins is pretty good. Arkham Knight kind of let me down in a lot of ways, but as another game that's basically just Arkham City all over again, kind of like how Arkham Origins was, I still think Arkham Origins did it better. And but there were some really good moments in Arkham Knight. It's just overall the game was kind of a letdown. And I'm kind of done with the Arkham stuff. I'm done. It's ran its course. There's too many of it. And there's a rumor that there's going to be a new Arkham game later. And, it's like, I'm done. I'm done. Meanwhile, Sony's making the Spider-Man game with Insomniac Studio. And the Spider-Man game looks like it puts Arkham to shame. It looks so much better than Arkham City that I can't stress enough how excited I am for this game. Like, this is probably going to be my favorite game the year it comes out, which is, I'm pretty sure it's this year. I'm pretty sure it's not even that long. I'm pretty sure it actually comes out pretty soon, like in a few months or so. It's probably going to be my game of the year. God of War is my game of the year so far, but Jesus Christ, like, I feel like I'm going to fall so head over heels in love for Spider-Man. It just looks so good. And the new stuff they showed today just kind of confirms that for me, how much better it looks. Like, it's gonna be super good. So, for me, Sony still won. It's just that they had a really weird start that I really disagree with their idea of doing that. I hope they don't do that again next time, because everyone's gonna make fun of them. Everyone's already making fun of him. Everyone made fun of him during the whole fucking shebang. And people might be docking points off of them for that, but so far, for me, Sony's winning. But to me, Sony won everything non-Nintendo. For me, last year, Nintendo won E3. And I'm pretty sure they're going to win again this year. But it depends if they show what all they show. All we know is that they're going to show the new Smash. That's tomorrow. I cannot wait. I am so excited. I want it so bad. I am so ready. My body is so ready. My body is so Reggie. So, but what I'm also looking forward to is if there's going to be a Star Fox Grand Prix game. I really hope so, but might have to wait. It might not be shown this time, but whatever. It's the fact that we're going to be getting um, a new Smash Bros. Game is I'm more than blessed for that. And there's also the possibility of a lot of different other new games. So we'll have to see. But so far, Sony knocked it out of the park. Xbox is in second place, and Xbox is only barely in second place. To me, I think Xbox and PlayStation both fucking killed it. And if you think Xbox did better, and if you want to blame it on the intermission, or just because you're excited for Halo, or maybe you really, really like Gears of War 4, and you actually want to see more Gears. I'm kind of done with Gears after 3. Then whatever. Or if DMC was just that good for you, then whatever. But for me, Kingdom Hearts, I got to see a ton of Kingdom Hearts this E3. Just so much Kingdom Hearts. And I think Sony had the better games to show, the games I'm more excited to play, and the games I think that are better. I'm so excited for PlayStation. So yeah, I think they both did really well. And then I would probably say Ubisoft is 3 with EA, then Square Enix, which is kind of sad. I didn't really watch much of PC gaming or Devolver Digital, even though I play PC probably more than all the consoles. Um, it's just that I don't care about games being announced on the PC one because they're not going to announce like a new game that's multi-platform, So it's like new games that are multi-platform are going to be announced during the console ones. So either way, could not be happier with today E3 wise. I think Sony really did a good job on this one. Well, they did a bad job, but the games are just so good looking. And what Sony did was they didn't show like trailers. Like that's one of my problems. Like I don't know anything about the new Elder Scrolls, so I don't care about it. I don't know anything about the other Bethesda game, the spaceship star space game. They're making a space game now too. I don't care. Like I don't care. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe I'll care next year. But PlayStation, what they did was they showed gameplay for every single game they had. For every game they had, they showed gameplay. That's a big deal. And so, well, it had a weird beginning. Once it got started pretty strong. It did a good job. They did a good job. They did a good job. So, that's my thoughts on E3 so far. Sony winning, Xbox very close second. If you want to swap that for Xbox being in first, go ahead. But I think there's no argument that Ubisoft, EA, and Square Enix didn't really have much to show and were kind of boring. But these are just my thoughts to get people thinking, and we'll have to see what we get. And man, oh man, oh man, cannot wait for tomorrow. Cannot wait for some Smash. So I'll catch you guys then.